have rights and responsibilities as consumers and must ensure that these rights are not oppressed by those providing us with goods and services. It's World Consumer Rights Day. Know your rights. ConsumerAffairsJamaica.gov.jm is a good place to start. I'm connected. Join me now. Hi, I'm Audrey Williams, and you're now tuned in to Jamaica Magazine. On the pages today, we'll learn about the rights of the consumer and what to do when these are violated. Also, find out what abnormal cholesterol does to your health and how to protect yourselves. Still to come, our top news stories of the week, plus much more in the half hour, so sit back and relax.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
The Consumer Affairs Commission says it secured more than $20.8 million in refunds and compensation on behalf of aggrieved consumers between April and December last year. The Commission is making sure that where your buying rights are violated, you can get redress. Don't know about you, but I want to find out more about these rights.
The right to safety and protection from hazardous goods or services is one of 7 rights of the consumer, spelled out in the Consumer Protection Act of 2005. The Act calls for a product recall to protect consumers from harmful goods. Usually, this is a request to return a product once safety issues are identified.
A manufacturer doing a voluntary recall saying some ingredient, some kind of processing, something went wrong during the whole manufacturing process, and we don't want to take any risks, so we're taking back the whole stock.
Once a product is deemed unsafe, consumers must return the item to the point of purchase, even if the item, whether it's food or clothing, was being used.
Our responsibility is to the consumer, so we will tell the consumer, wherever you purchase that item, take it back and get your refund.
The Consumer Protection Act, CPA for short, outlines a procedure in safeguarding individuals from damaged goods, starting with the right to know. Every consumer has the right to be informed and protected against fraudulent, deceitful, or misleading information. Consumers must have access to accurate information and the facts needed to make informed choices and decisions. The CAC has the power to intervene once a defective or potentially harmful product is found within the marketplace. Beginning with media updates, the CAC is mandated to move quickly to minimize potential harm to consumers. Imagine the consequences of medication with a bad ingredient or a car with faulty brakes. The risks are frightening and very real. In 2010, contaminated corned beef led to a recall of corned beef products under multiple brands. Bad peanut butter led to the recall of thousands of jars of 2 popular brands. And who can forget the fallout when leading automaker Toyota recalled 400,000 of its Toyota Prius models and other hybrid vehicles worldwide to fix faulty brakes. In all these cases, the Consumer Affairs Commission ensured that the lines of communication remained open, that consumers knew what to do. But you too have a role to play. If you buy a substandard product, inform the CAC immediately. You may also contact the Bureau of Standards to report inferior merchandise. Recalls are often triggered by consumers who report faults. While manufacturers or merchants may issue a recall on their own, vigilant consumers often force their hand. To report a faulty product, visit the CAC's Facebook page, send them an email at cacjam@infochan.com or call the Consumer Watchdog at 978-4998. You may also visit their Seaview Avenue offices in St. Andrew.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Medical experts say too much cholesterol in our bodies poses a risk for heart disease. We take it in when we eat foods such as eggs, meat, and milk. But any potential damage can be prevented through lifestyle adjustments recommended by your doctor for good health. Watch this.
Hi Jane, what's up? Long time no see. How you doing?
Thanks, me alright. Just having lunch. You want a bite?
No sir. It's what that you eating though? It look like it have a whole heap of animal fat.
A lot of fat?
Yes.
What is wrong with eating fat?
Listen, I'm not trying to embarrass you, you know, but eating a lot of fat is not good for your health.
For our health?
Yes.
Nonsense. That's for you, not for me. Look at me. Do I look like I am fat? It's only fat people must not eat fatty food.
Listen, having high cholesterol don't have nothing to do with your body weight.
What?
Yes.
That sound like foolishness. Anyway, you see, since me slim and trim, I can eat any amount of fatty food I want. Furthermore, I want to put on a little flesh on my body.
You can have persons who are a normal body weight and still have high cholesterol. That is possible. So you cannot look at somebody and say that you're slim and trim and don't have cholesterol. No, that's not so. You can still have high cholesterol and be a normal weight. You definitely need to get it checked to know for sure.
You know, Jane, I really think you need to go to your doctor and have your cholesterol checked. Because having high cholesterol can lead to a whole host of other health problems, even heart attack.
Heart attack?
Yes.
But after me no want that reach me. So Ann, you check yours?
I check mine very regularly. In fact, even last week I was at my doctor. He told me that my cholesterol is at an acceptable level, but I must not let it go up.
I will go to my doctor first thing in the morning. But Ann, I am afraid. What if him say that my cholesterol high? How am I going to deal with that?
You know, you really don't need to worry, you know. Because if you have high cholesterol, you can bring it down to an acceptable level.
To lower your cholesterol, you need to try and have a diet with less animal fats and with more fruit and vegetables. Just be aware of what is a healthy nutritional diet. Also try and keep your body weight in check and exercise regularly.
Doctors say cholesterol is a waxy fat-like substance that occurs naturally in all parts of the body and can also come from the foods we eat. Nutritionists say cholesterol itself is generally good because we need it for the body to function normally. But there are ways in which cholesterol can be bad.
Bad cholesterol would be things like if you have too much saturated animal fat. It's not that it is bad in its entirety, it is the quantity and the amount that is a problem. So we need to watch things like any dairy products, meats. Those are the type of things that we need to watch for in terms of getting too much, but it's okay in moderation. Good cholesterol, we have a lot of plant-based, unsaturated fats, which are healthy for us.
Good cholesterol protects us against heart disease, while bad cholesterol increases our chances of getting cardiovascular diseases.
The bad cholesterol affects us by clogging up the blood vessels, for want of a better word. Sometimes we have blood vessels that maybe the inside lining has been damaged for things like, cigarette smoking and so on. And certainly bad cholesterol would add to this by attaching itself to the lining and causing it to get blocked up eventually. This is a long process. It's not something that happens after one meal that is high in fat.
Unlike many diseases, medical experts say high cholesterol is often silent. That means you don't know you have it until you get tested because there are no symptoms.
sometimes, maybe the first time is when you actually collapse with a heart attack.
But there are things that you can do that will make your cholesterol stay at a normal level, and they involve making changes to your lifestyle. Eat foods with less fat and saturated fat. Take off the skin and fat from meat, poultry, and fish. Broil, bake, or roast instead of frying foods. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables every day. Eat lots of cereals, breads, rice, and pasta made from whole grains. Exercise every day. Lose weight if you are overweight. Stop smoking and take high blood cholesterol medication as prescribed by your doctor. Doctors say it is very important to have our cholesterol level checked early, at least every 5 years, starting at age 20. For more on the business of good and bad cholesterol, contact the Heart Foundation of Jamaica at 28 Beechwood Avenue, Kingston 5, or call them at 926-4378. You can also visit any government health institution close to you. Remember, prevention is better than cure. Be health-wise.
Smoking, it's bad for your health. There's nothing cool about this habit. Tobacco smoking is a silent killer that will snare you in a horrific cycle of addiction that robs you of your money and your health. And it's not just you who suffers. Those around you who inhale the smoke are also at risk, your friends and loved ones. So stop if you've started, or resist before you begin the habit. Stay healthy.
World Consumer Rights Day is being celebrated under the theme, Your Phone, Your Rights. And Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Anthony Hilton, has some important information to share. Let's join him now.
Fellow Jamaicans, greetings. Each year, World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated on March 15th under a particular theme. This year, we in Jamaica observe World Consumer Rights Day under the theme, Your Phone, Your Rights. As in other parts of the world, the main objective is to highlight the problems and challenges facing consumers utilizing mobile phone services. The challenges facing consumers become even more pronounced when we note that in Jamaica, we have about 2 million mobile phone subscribers in a population of 2.7 million people. While this is an indication of progress, it may also have implications for consumers in terms of service delivery, quality, and costs. Consumer International indicates that in 2013, there was an estimated 6.8 billion people who owned mobile phones. Juxtapose this against the fact that there are only 7.2 billion people in the world, and the magnitude of this phenomenal development becomes even clearer. As we observe World Consumer Rights Day, we are aware of the need for consumers to be provided with fair contracts, explained in clear, complete, and accessible language. In effect, all relevant information should be explained clearly so that consumers can exercise their right to make informed choices. It is very important that the services provided be consistent and of the highest quality possible without breaks in service. Billing should be fair and transparent, and consumers should not be billed for services they did not request. Increasingly, consumers are demanding more control over their personal information. They are demanding, for example, that the personal data given up in order to use mobile phones be properly protected by the provider. More and more, consumers will be seeking to set the terms regarding how this data is actually used. As consumers, we face some of these and other issues not only with telecom providers, but also in other sectors. It is important that all businesses and telecom providers in particular listen to consumers and respond to their complaints. Proper redress mechanisms must be provided for situations where consumers are not satisfied with the services being offered. As consumers, we must be vigilant in ensuring that our rights are always protected and that we support each other. I urge you also to utilize the services of the Fair Trading Commission in instances where you believe there is uncompetitive behavior. The Consumer Affairs Commission has been doing a tremendous job in protecting your rights as consumers. During 2013-2014, the CAC championed the refund of approximately $24 million to aggrieved consumers and had a 78% resolution rate on consumer complaints. I encourage all Jamaicans to continue supporting the CAC and to keep focusing on the theme, your phone, your rights.
On the board this week, the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, is inviting members of the public to submit entries for its Festival of Foods competition. The Festival of Foods competition is open to individuals, schools, churches, universities, and community groups. Entries are being accepted in the categories including main dishes, pastries, beverages, and desserts, among others. Deadline for entries for the Festival of Foods competition is Friday, March 28. Get your entry forms and guidelines now online at jcdc.gov.jm, at the JCDC main office, 3 to 5 Phoenix Avenue, Kingston 10, and at all JCDC parish offices island-wide. Come to the University of Technology Jamaica, UTech, on Thursday, March 20 and bask in its annual literary festival and cultural showcase. The event will run from 10 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Papim campus under the theme Celebrating Jamaica's Evolving Dance Industry, Step by Step. The one-day festival will take place in 4 segments: an art exhibition, a literary workshop, a literary festival, and a cultural showcase. Contact the Center for the Arts at 926-1626 or culture@utech.edu.jm, a Ministry of Youth and Culture endorsed event. Come run for health and walk for life at the Chapelton Police Youth Club 5K Run Walk on Sunday, April 20. Make it a date for this event. Proceeds in aid of an education fund for children of the community and its environs. Join the Maranatha Gospel Hall Music Ministry for its sing-along at the Maranatha Gospel Hall, 7 Deanery Road, Kingston, on Sunday, March 30. Come for an evening of worship with the Psalms, starting time 6 p.m. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868-022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
Out and registration is ongoing for persons to get it. The new GOJ Health Card is here to be used by all of us to access care in the public health sector. Do you know all the ways to benefit from this card?
It will help me a lot because it will save up more of, I have to pay more amount of money or so forth. So it could do me a lot of good.
It might be a good help because I have 3 children and they're growing up and different ailments can happen to them just because I'm here as well because one of my daughters is sick. So I said it might help.
Mostly with the pharmacy thingy, you know that the prescriptions are really expensive. and so maybe only on that point it will be much help. Getting a prescription filled and so on, that's where people have a problem financially supporting that. So that's the only main reason why I'm really getting it still.
It makes collecting financing for a healthcare system much easier.
Once I'm giving the car, I expect to get through quicker and earlier. And may see that boy, what ailment we have, we get through faster, we get to pillar. So I see it work out all right still.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity, we a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
In our news this week, crime fell in January, the lowest in decades. Those and some other major stories right now.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller was in St. Vincent and the Grenadines this week, representing Jamaica at the 25th intersessional meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government. In her address to the leaders, Mrs. Simpson Miller called for a non-confrontational approach within CARICOM on the issue of reparations. She said it should be a process of reconciliation and dialogue free from animosity. The Prime Minister also told JIS News that the meeting was another important opportunity to engage with Jamaica's partners for mutually beneficial development support.
All the issues on the agenda, they were of critical importance to our region and to our people. And I am into being involved in any discussion that can impact the lives of our people.
It was revealed this week that crime-fighting strategies implemented by the security forces and other stakeholders resulted in a decrease in murders for the first month of the year.
At 73 murders in January, still high, but it was the lowest January in 11 years.
The National Security Minister was addressing the recent Heritage Awareness Church and Business Leaders Breakfast hosted by the Spanish Town Development Area Committee. Meanwhile, the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act, more commonly known as the anti-gang legislation, has been passed in the Senate after receiving the lower house of Parliament's approval in early February. Passage of the bill will strengthen the justice system and allow the police to more effectively suppress and disrupt organized criminal enterprises. The Senate passed the legislation with 3 amendments, including a longer prison sentence of 25 years for persons who recruit children into gangs.
The effect of it would mean that the penalty in relation to recruitment of children would have a higher basic penalty attached than recruiting adults, which I think was a sentiment that the Senate felt was important for the law to convey.
Penalty for the recruitment of an adult is imprisonment of up to 20 years. The Education Ministry says all is in place for the 2014 Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT set for next week Thursday and Friday. Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean says the 1,135 examination centers across the island are ready to accommodate the 45,133 students who will sit the exam this year.
Where approved, accommodations have been made for students with special needs, and timetables have already been dispatched to students in all regions.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites says when the GSAT curriculum is changed next year, it will encourage students to concentrate on critical thinking and less on memory skills.
We're going to be affecting the science paper and the social studies paper next year. There'll be fewer questions probably, and they will require a bit more thinking by the students and a little less memorizing.
Minister Thwaites was speaking Wednesday at the official opening of a computer lab at the Emmanuel Christian Academy. Contracts totaling $800 million have been signed with 4 technology solutions companies to implement the pilot phase of the Tablets in Schools program.
These suppliers represent a range of solutions, including devices, accessories, device management solutions, and services such as tracking and content control.
The devices will be deployed to 37 learning institutions in the upcoming academic year.
One of the things that the government which we serve is adamant that we must have and cannot be postponed is the opportunity for a world-class education.
Following a review of the pilot, the $1.4 billion Tablets in Schools project will be rolled out across the island, targeting 600,000 students and teachers. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Roger Clark says government intends to cut the importation of goat meat as part of the country's food security measures. Farmers, he says, must therefore prepare to significantly increase the rearing of the small ruminants.
We sell sufficient in pork and poultry. We import a lot of mutton, but we eat a lot of curry goat, but some 80% of that curried goat meat, or whatever you call it, is imported into this country. The potential is there for significant growth. We want to change that, and that is why we are seeking to improve our program for small ruminants.
Minister Clark was speaking at the 58th Hague Agricultural Show held in Trelawney recently. And finally, the Labour and Social Security Ministry is to submit the final draft of the National Disability Bill to Cabinet for its consideration by next week. The proposed act seeks to make provisions to safeguard and enhance the welfare of persons with disabilities across Jamaica. Portfolio Minister Derek Kelly says once Cabinet has completed its deliberations on the bill, which has already been reviewed by Parliament's Legislative Committee, it will be tabled in the House of Representatives without delay.
I'm fairly confident that Jamaica will have its first native National Disability Act by the time we come as a nation in 5 months' time to celebrate our 52nd anniversary of independence.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
A message from the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Disputes Resolution Foundation, paid for by the UN Women Fund for Gender Equality.
This is where we close Jamaica Magazine for today. Be sure to join us when we return tomorrow with more useful information. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JIS News. And our website, jis.gov.jm, remains a constant portal for the very latest government information. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams, reminding you to eat well, exercise regularly, and get some rest, and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.